there was a demon that lived in the air. They said whoever challenged him would die.
Reaching for the stars, finding our limits. I am the Wiz. Alright everybody, welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. If you like this review, please leave a like at the end of this video. And if you want to watch more, please subscribe. I do 3 reviews a week on this channel. Alright, and I'm here to review the 1983 biopic, The Right Stuff, featuring performances by Sam Shepard, Scott Glenn, Ed Harris, Fred Ward, Dennis Quaid, Barbara Hershey, Kim Stanley, and Veronica Cartwright, written and directed by Philip Kaufman. Hell of a cast, my god. Just to start off the bat, but let's just get into the review. Okay. The Right Stuff, Philip Kaufman's epic about the space race, is about one man, Chuck Yeager, played by Sam Shepard. But it's not about Yeager the person, it's about what he embodied as a person, a symbol, and as a personification of an ideal. When you look at anything regarding the film, you see astronauts and all sorts of iconography involving NASA and the space race against Russia. But Stuff makes a brilliant pivot. It starts with the test pilot program tasked with breaking the sound barrier. This introduces Chuck Yeager, who seems to encompass perfectly what a pilot should be. It makes sense in a historical sense to start with Yeager. Without what he did, there would likely not be a space program. But what Stuff does so brilliantly in terms of characters is make every pilot both a connection and an evolution from and to Yeager. The connection to Yeager is to show what type of man is needed to become an astronaut. Confident, physically fit, not afraid to die, and have a certain type of masculinity. Stuff spends a lot of time showing what it takes to be an astronaut. It spends a lot of the time when it comes to physicality, but also the sacrifices that is made in their personal lives. It also shows the sacrifices their family makes as well. But the evolution from Yeager is where the characters become more interesting. The main astronauts you get to know carry all of Yeager's traits, but they all diverge in key areas. And it's those divergences and differences that make them interesting and great to watch as characters. Whether it's Gordon Cooper, who is played with an arrogance by Dennis Quaid, or it's John Glenn, who is played with a starry-eyed optimism and an aw-shucks kind of good nature by Ed Harris. Ed Harris playing that character is interesting, by the way. Each character, whether they know it or not, come from the steely template that Yeager and Shepard's performance created on them. And the film does this subtly over its 3-hour runtime. Yes, the film comes back to Yeager in specific times during the movie, but the film makes sly winks and nods back to him through dialogue exchanges and scenes. But of course, the film is ostensibly about the space race, and Stuff portrays all of it in an all-encompassing but entertaining way. What the film does brilliantly is not linger too long on one aspect or another of what the men are going through. This really helps in a number of ways, but what it really helps with is the runtime. I said that this was over 3 hours long. This film does not feel it at all. You'll have training montages, familial spats, conflict within the group, but they don't stay on it for too long unless it blends nicely to another aspect of the film. This leads to a film that feels epic while still feeling grounded and personal. But what should also be discussed is the sound design and music. Oh my god, the sound design and music is so good in this movie. With the sound effects, everything in the film feels like it belongs in its place. Everything from the launches to what it feels like in the capsule or control room feels incredibly authentic. And the music just fits so well with everything the film is showcasing. Even when there are scenes of domesticity or personal relationships, it still maintains this grand feeling throughout. The Right Stuff is one of those films where I can go on for a long time as to what makes this film an incredible watch, but I will stop with this. At no point was I bored or uninterested in what happened on screen. The Right Stuff takes one of the biggest accomplishments known to man and makes it into a story that feels grounded and personal. It does it with awe and reverence while showing the humanity of the people who accomplished what was once thought impossible. Alright, so before I get into my rating, let's see what other people think about this film. Letterboxd users has it at a 4.0 out of 5. Rotten Tomatoes has it at a score of 96% fresh, and this was nominated for 8 Oscars. It won 4, and the 4 it won were Best Music, Best Sound Effects, Best Sound, and Best Film Editing. Technically, this film is really good, both sound-wise and visual-wise, so I completely understand that. I'm going to give The Right Stuff 4.5 stars out of 5. What a great movie. I think the best compliment I can give it is a near 3.5 hour film. And unlike most films of that runtime, I never felt it. I didn't really get into performances in the film, but I think the performances were great in the film. I think Sam Shepard's performance is the best as Chuck Yeager in the film. But really, what's amazing about the film is the technicality of the sound effects, of the editing. But I think the most brilliant thing the film does is it doesn't just make it about the space race. That could have been very easy to do, and it would have been a fascinating film just from that alone. But linking it all back to Yeager, which they really did not need to do in this. They could have cut that out and just kept it with the astronauts, but they brilliantly weaved Yeager into everything with the astronauts. That might be also part of the book. I've never read the book, so I'm not sure. But by linking Yeager to the astronauts, I think it made a more human connection that I really was not expecting. But it was just a brilliantly done story overall. So overall, 4.5 out of 5 stars for The Right Stuff. I rented it on Amazon, so you can rent it on Amazon, YouTube, whatever. Definitely worth the $4 to rent it if you have not seen it. So check it out if you haven't. Brilliant movie. Love it. All right, so for this week, I reviewed films about American patriotism. So let me ask you a question. What film personifies American patriotism for you? I think for me, it's either going to be Saving Private Ryan or Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. I would probably go towards Mr. Smith. But if I'm going to be honest, the one piece of media that personifies American patriotism is the series The West Wing. I know a lot of people find it corny now, and they were kind of a little pissed that it's not realistic, but there is so much about that show that I think really hits hard for me when it comes to patriotism and loving your country. But if it came to a movie, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, but overall in a sense of any type of media, for me it's The West Wing. But what is yours? Let me know in the comments. All right, so normally I would have a review on Friday, but if you are in America, you know that Friday is Independence Day, July 4th. So I will not have a review coming out that day. So if you are in America, enjoy Independence Day. Otherwise, I will see you Monday. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.
Okay, Glenn, I know that's you, so just knock it off because I'm trying to concentrate in here.
Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please like it. If you didn't, please subscribe. And if you have questions or comments, go ahead and leave a comment whether you liked it or not. It just helps, you know. If you want my written reviews, you can go onto my letterbox at IamThatWiz, or you can go to my website at IamTheWiz.com. Thank you very much again for watching. See you next time.